Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Dr. Haji Ahmad Faisal bin Abdul Rahman, CEO of the National Water Services Commission, or SPAN, Malaysia, to present a keynote on Water Services Industry Act, What is Next? Dr. Ahmad Faisal Abdul Rahman is the Chief Executive Officer of Suruhanjaya Perkhidmatan Air Negara, or SPAN. SPAN is a technical and economic regulatory body for the water supply and sewerage services in Peninsular Malaysia and federal territories of Putrajaya and Labuan. He holds a degree in accounting and financial management from the University of Essex, United Kingdom, and studied advanced management from Side Business School, Oxford University. At the age of 39, Dr. Ahmad Faisal was appointed as the Chief Executive Officer and Director of Pengurusan Aset Air Berhad. PAAB is a national water asset company mandated to facilitate the water restructuring exercise in Peninsular Malaysia and the Federal Territory of Labuan. This appointment makes him among the young CEOs in Malaysia during that time. Following his previous success, on February 2017, he was appointed the Executive Director and CEO of SAJ Ranhill Sdn Berhad. His great leadership led to various transformations and achievements for both PAAB and SAG. With over 12 years of experiences in the water industry, along with impressive records in previous organizations, Dr. Ahmad Faisal has become the third individual appointed to lead SPAN. His journey started on 29 May 2019. He's also been appointed the commanding officer for a military regiment in October 2020. Further, Dr. Ahmad Faisal has extensive experience in administration and business management. He has also served in government-linked companies such as Progas Sdn Berhad and Asiam Bankers Malaysia Berhad. He received the Darjah Paduka Mahkota Perak in 2010. Never one to back down from challenge, Dr. Ahmad Faisal has his eye on greater growth and seeks to steer SPAN towards new opportunities and challenges while staying true to his vision to drive transformation in the water services and sewerage industries for the betterment of this country. This session will be moderated by Encik Hairi Basri, Deputy President of the Malaysian Water Association.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera to all of you, friends and members of the Malaysian Water Associations, visitors and guests, keluarga Malaysia, whenever you are right now, either in the office or working from home, local or abroad. I'm Hairi Basri, Deputy President of the Malaysian Water Association. I will be your moderator for this keynote session. Thank you, Yasmin Yusof, our MC today, for the introduction. Welcome back. Welcome back to the second day of the Malaysia International Water Convention 2021, from industry to industry, for all of you stakeholders of our water services and water industry as a whole. I'm sure you have a very fruitful day yesterday, following our program right from the opening ceremony, parallel session, keynote address by Kasar Secretary General, and the technical tour. Thank you also to all technical support staff behind the scene that have managed this first ever virtual event by MWA and brought them a true reality. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start the ball rolling today by having the CEO of Suruhanjaya Perkhidmatan Air Negara, or SPAN, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Ahmad Faisal bin Abdul Rahman, to deliver his keynote address and share the status of our Water Services Industry Act, or Act 655, which was introduced in year 2006. Our MC, Yasmin Yusof, has read his great CVs, and with that merits, we are grateful to have him in our water services industry, and will bring SPAN and water services industry to greater height. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's listen to keynote address by Yang Berbahagia Datuk Ahmad Faisal bin Abdul Rahman, CEO of SPAN, titled Water Services Industry Act, what is next? Dato', the floor is yours.
First of all, I would like to express my appreciation to the organizer for inviting me to deliver the keynote address for this session in conjunction with the Malaysia International Water Convention, MIWC 2021. Concerted efforts to reform and transform the water services industry in Malaysia began in 2006. It was a visionary effort to ensure an adequate supply of clean water and a good quality sewerage services to the public and the industry. Suruhanjaya Perkhidmatan Air Negara Act 2006, Act 654 and Act 655 were formed to transform the water services industry into an efficient and sustainable sector that will play a pivotal role as one of the major components of economic growth. Throughout the years, we have faced many challenges during the enforcement of these two acts, especially on Act 655. As the continuous effort to regulate the water services industry in a more comprehensive and effective manner, SPAN has embarked on amending Act 655 to rectify some weaknesses, enhance SPAN's regulatory and enforcement powers, as well as to implement new policies set by the Ministry for the betterment of the water services industry. The proposed amendments of the Act had gone through the consultation process, which involved various stakeholders, including licensees and consumers. The new policies in relation to a holistic and sustainable water services industry have also been incorporated in the amendments. The Ministry has targeted the amendments of Act 655 to be enforced by next year. We all know that the raw water resources used for consumption are mainly from the surface water, which contributed more than 98%. Water resources in Malaysia are currently under the threat of pollution as the cases of illegal effluent discharge are becoming serious. In 2020 alone, there were 11 incidents of raw water pollution in Selangor and 1 incident in Pahang that resulted in the consumers having to suffer water supply disruptions. Recently, a total of 463 areas in Selangor experienced unscheduled water cuts due to odor pollution detected in Sungai Semenyih, and most of these incidents were due to human errors, negligence, ignorance, or bad intentions. In order to address the issue, amendments on Act 655 have been proposed to make it an offence if any act of polluting caused the shutdown of water supply system or water supply disruptions to consumers. Further to this, licensees will be allowed to claim cleaning costs of the system as the costs incurred by the licensees are rather high. The penalties are proposed to be increased so as to be a deterrent, considering the hardship suffered by the consumers due to these disruptions. There were also water source pollution cases caused by illegal discharge of waste, oil, chemicals, and other matters into public sewers. Inability of the sewerage treatment plant to treat such discharge not only causes damage to the system, but also pollutes the water source, which in turn has causes water disruptions. Thus, it is proposed such illegal discharge into public sewers be made an offence with increased penalty. Amendments of Act 655 also include enhancing SPAN's enforcement powers, whereby SPAN's authorised officers will be empowered to seize any vehicle used to transport and dispose any matter of substance in contravention of the Act. These will aid in the investigation of offences by SPAN, such as illegal discharge of prohibited effluent, manhole, and sewerage system. SPAN's authorised officers are also able to arrest without a warrant. With these additional enforcement powers, increased penalty and new offences, it is hoped that it will deter offences being committed under the Act and further reduce water supply disruptions due to frequent pollution to water source. Besides the amendment of Act 655, SPAN has established water safety plan guidelines, a plan to reduce the risk of pollution from the source to tap, and has imposed as one of the key performance indicators of water operators. I must say that this is a progressive and relevant change that suits the needs of current water supply challenges. Ultimately, our objective is to keep water resources in a clean condition to ensure the quality and continuous water supply for all. Malaysia has experienced substantial economic growth since the 1980s, resulting in a sharp increase in water demand, especially in major urban centres. With the rapid urbanization in these areas, meeting the water demand becomes a challenge to the water planners. In 2020, the treated water reserve margin for the Peninsular Malaysia and Federal Territory of Labuan is recorded at 16.3%. Kedah, Perlis, Kelantan and Johor consistently had reserves below 5% due to limited water treatment plant capacity. The government has carried out various holistic programs to increase the reserve margin, such as construction of new water treatment plants, upgrading of existing plants, reduction of non-revenue water, and replacement of old and damaged pipes, as well as repair of service tanks. Let me share with you some of the main features of the programs. First, the completion of Langat 2 water treatment plant in 2023 will increase Selangor's treated water reserve margin to 10%. The Kampung Teluk water treatment plant, scheduled to be ready soon, will raise Kelantan's water reserve margin to 4%. 5 existing water treatment plants are being upgraded and will be completed by 2023. These will boost the Kedah's reserve margin to 11%. The Sungai Rawa water treatment plant and Greek water treatment plant, which is to be commissioning soon, will raise 62.7 MLD to Perak water supply capacity. And 2 existing treatment plants to be upgraded, and this will increase 72 MLD to Perlis water supply capacity. Further, construction of off-river storage in 4 states, namely Melaka, Kedah, Johor and Negeri Sembilan, will increase the number of reservoirs available. And lastly, 1.8 billion Malaysia ringgit has been allocated to assist water operators to implement NRW reduction programs by Approach 1 and Approach 2. Increasing treated water reserve margin includes reducing and controlling the level of non-revenue water is complex. It is our desire to see the average reserve margin to be at the level of 10 to 15% in order for us to make quantum gains in the near term. I would urge water operators and the delegates gathered here to discuss and share their experiences. Please tap on the presence and experience of our foreign counterparts who are here and learn from the best practices and successes. With that, I would like to wish you all a very fruitful and successful dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you, Yang Bagi Datuk Ahmad Fazal Rahman, CEO of SPAN, for your insightful presentation. We all from the water services industry are looking forward for the amendment of the Water Services Industry Act for Act 655 to be implemented by next year, as you mentioned in the presentation. However, this morning, Dr. Ahmad Fazal is not able to be with us to answer a live question due to his work schedule. So later you can email if you have any question to the organizer, and then we will, once we get the answer from him, then we will email back to the attendees on the answers for your questions. So if I can take a few points from what Dr. Ahmad Fazal mentioned in his keynote address just now, there are a few things that he mentioned. First is this, the issues of pollutions to our raw water sources and also to the sewage system. And this is one of the key things that need to be addressed. And for this, the Act 655 will be amended to take care of this matter. Number 2 is to enhance the SPAN enforcement power to better guard our water services industry. The third one is the implementation of the water safety plan guidelines developed by SPAN. This is to reduce the risk of water services from raw water up to the tap. And the last one is the importance of water services industry to increase our treated water reserve margin at water treatment plant in order to address any uncertainties. And this includes by building a new water treatment plants in various states, increase Air Selangor reserve margin to 10% by implementing the Langat to water treatment plant. And Air Kelantan, we have a 5% increase. We have a 5% water reserve margin by completing the new water treatment plant. Kedah, we have 11%. And there also new project in Perak and Perlis and Kedah, as mentioned by Dr. Fazal. And the importance also of the addressing the issue of NRW to release the loss of treated water in our system back to the consumer. So it is desirable for us from the water services industry to have between 10 to 15% water reserve margin at all water treatment plants in Malaysia. So thank you very much, Dr. Faizal, for sharing with us the water industry on the latest development of the Water Services Industry Act 655, and hope this act will further enhance our water services industry. With that, I thank you all the participants, and I wish you all a very fruitful day on the second day of Water Malaysia International 2021. Thank you.